I'm your host, My Son, and welcome back to the Shit Show. And as promised, we'll be giving you weekly commentary, sometimes bi-weekly commentary, about what's going on in this current administration. Now, today we're going to take a little turn. We're going to talk about this administration, but we're also going to talk about something that's happening. We're going to revisit a case that I spoke loudly about a few years ago. It is the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion situation. Recently, there has been a reemergence of quote-unquote alleged newly discovered evidence. You know, his lawyers came out and said now they found some driver. Let's get this straight. It's a driver, not her bodyguard, because this is what reports are being reported that her bodyguard had been in a car with her while she was explicitly given the details of what happened. But that's not what happened. I'm gonna let you listen to what the lawyer says right now. Just listen so you can hear.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun.
So you see, this was not her bodyguard. This was a driver who was driving her back and forth to court during the trial. She was only at that trial for 2 days, so he probably was in the car with her for a couple of hours, give or take. And allegedly, she was in the back of her car talking and explaining verbatim how she shot Megan and Tory knocked the gun out of her hands and he was innocent. I mean, stupid people are stupid. So listen, some people are stupid. I don't see the sense it would make for you to be in back of a car saying that. That's what he heard. And based on that newly discovered information, there's been this new push and people are coming out and a lot of rappers are screaming free Tory and this and that. And now they've even got Republican representatives. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna is now advocating for the release of Tory Lanez based on this newly discovered evidence. Now, right, and if you're saying free Tory because you like Tory, you think he's a good singer, you think he's a good rapper, cool. Because we scream free our mans that we know done shot and killed people all the time. And that's your own bias, that's your own right. You like, yo, I don't think Tory should be in jail. I love him, he's my favorite artist, cool. But if you're screaming free Tory and saying that Meg Thee Stallion is lying, there's the issue for me. I can't sit back as being a man of character and allow some shit like that to happen. I can't sit and watch the social media spin and create fake narratives and face facts about some real shit that happened to a woman who was shot. I wouldn't be the man I am. People gonna sit around peacefully coexist. Some people gonna say, yo, I'm not gonna say nothing, but I would not be the man I am if I allowed that coward shit to go on. Right? If you like Tory, cool. But we're not going to ignore the facts of what happened to Meg Thee Stallion. We're not going to ignore that there was a whole trial with evidence that was given that showed how she was shot and who shot her. We're not going to ignore that. We're not, because you want to ignore and they're giving you bits and pieces of bullshit on this internet. We're going to go through the facts of the situation. So as you scream free Tory because you just want Tory free, not because he didn't shoot Meg Thee Stallion. This is what I'm trying to say. We're not going to keep spinning this narrative. It's heartbreaking to listen to this lady every 2 or 3 months have to constantly defend herself for being a victim. She was shot and constantly has to defend herself from being a victim. I've never seen no shit like this in the history of anything. Like in the last couple of years, I've watched the media and social media twist it so much That is unreal. Even when we look at this Diddy situation, Diddy put his hands on Cassie. He should be arrested for domestic violence. He's a fucking creep. He's a coward for putting his hand on that woman. But these people put out all kinds of narratives that there was a million parties and people were naked and there was celebrities, and niggas ran with that. Niggas ran with that. We watching a whole trial right now when they haven't presented one piece of evidence that stated that him and this girl had some freaky shit going on. He was beating her. All of that's the truth. But all of this shit that they said was happening, Diddy had these parties, illustrious parties, and people was doing this and all that shit. Where is none of that shit came out? But that's what social media and the media made you believe, and we ran with that shit. So fast forward, we bringing you back to this Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case. So when I heard, okay, they got newly discovered evidence. What's the newly discovered evidence? Hearsay, right? I know that I've been in jail before. Newly discovered evidence is evidence that couldn't be presented at trial. Your hearsay evidence that you heard somebody say something is not really evidence. But okay, let's say, listen, the judge and listen to it. Based on what? You know, she's gonna look at that, and then she's gonna look at he or she is gonna look at the preposterance of evidence that was presented at trial. So let's talk about the evidence that people just want to completely ignore that was presented at trial. So at trial, there was an audio tape of Tory Lanez apologizing. Let's listen to this tape.
Tory?
An inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call, thank you for using Telmate.
Hello?
Hey.
Y'all got out since and everything?
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything, y'all good?
Niggas still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
You're listening to Street TV.
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Feeder, something like that. Feeder.
Yo, bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so, whatever,
Yeah.
bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know. There's a lot that happens, but
A whole lot, bro. Like, a whole lot, bro. I feel crazy, bro. But in this day, like, what happened already, bro. I can't take it back, bro. I'm just telling y'all, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
You're listening to Street TV.
I think I was just too drunk, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I got to the house, shorty, like, all top niggas, they gave me like 5 shots, like, off the door, like, you feel me? So I was out of there, like, wasn't in there with niggas, like, you feel me? We was taking shots past that time. I wasn't even there with niggas, like, bro. I don't even remember what we was even arguing about, bro. Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah, no, I didn't even. I was already fucked up by the time you got there, so I don't know how much.
it's like, you know, but tell me what hospital she's in.
You're listening to Street TV.
I just told you, Cedar Medical.
Alright, you ain't got Quan's number, right? You ain't got my security number.
Quan, I do have his number.
Can you call this nigga Quan and tell this nigga, bruh, you get a chance, bro, just figure out what you gotta do to bail me out this shit.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sorry again, bro. Like,
I think honestly, I think we're gonna try to because obviously, like, the longer you're in there, the more hot it's going to get, because, you know, it's already on, like, there's no names released yet, but the report is already out, you know?
But, like, out is what? What you mean, out?
It's on some app. You know, Megan's team is on top of this. So,
yeah, but, like, niggas don't, there's no way that Megan's on, like, the thing.
No, what'd you say?
There's no way that Megan's, like, on the
You're
thing.
listening to Street TV.
No. So far, none of that is there. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those. If anything, the only nigga that's gonna get this backlash is me. It's not gonna be her.
yeah.
But no,
I'll let you know.
alright, it is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just wanna let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk, bro. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
Now listen, there's been all the speculation. Tory said that he was apologizing for sleeping with both of them at the same time. Now listen to me. I'm not the smartest person in the world. But if you listen to that audio and you heard him apologizing for sleeping with two women at the same time, then you just are what you call willfully ignorant. Or you dumb, whatever, either one you are, listen to me. Now, if you heard him apologizing for sleeping with two women, then you're either ignorant or stupid. Because, let's break this down. Quote unquote, allegedly, Tory Lanez was fucking with Kelsey, right? And he cheated on Kelsey with Meg Thee Stallion. Ask yourself this question. These are two questions I need you to answer. If Tory Lanez alleges that Kelsey shot Meg Thee Stallion, and he was sleeping with Meg Thee Stallion behind Kelsey's back, why would he be calling Kelsey to tell her to apologize for him to Meg Thee Stallion? Why the fuck would he be asking her to, you should be apologizing to her for sleeping with Meg? And Meg damn sure don't want to hear from her if she's the person that shot her. Why would you be calling her thinking that and she's at the hospital with Megan. She just shot her. She's downstairs at the hospital waiting for her. And you on the phone saying you sorry. You were so drunk. You would have never done no shit like that. You don't even remember what the argument was about. But you apologizing to her for the argument, but you don't remember what the fuck the argument was about. You say, I know she's never gonna speak to me again. Never. I know she's never gonna speak to me again. You say you know she never gonna speak to you again, but you say this to Kelsey, the person you supposedly cheated on with Meg. This don't make no sense. It's not even common sense. But somebody who don't want to listen to common sense is gonna say, you know what? You don't know what that's. Nigga, listen, bro. I've been in the streets my whole life. I know real shit and I know fake shit. Man made a mistake, and if he would have said that as a man, yo, I fucked up. I was drunk. He said that there. Run with that. You probably wouldn't have went to trial if you'd have kept along with that, but you tried to spin the narrative and make that lady look like she was crazy. You went online and said, you don't know what happened. She stepped on glass. You ran with all this bullshit, and then you put her in a position to where she had to say, oh, whoa, oh, you trying to spin some shit. Now we gonna tell the truth. So cool, that's what was presented at trial. That was presented at trial. You know what else was presented at trial? Kelsey's text messages. Kelsey text message, Meg's driver and bodyguard 2 minutes after this happened and said, Tory just shot Meg. Look, I want you to look. You see this? This was presented at trial. This text message was presented at trial. You know what else was presented at trial? Kelsey's testimony. Now listen, everybody's saying Kelsey went in there. Now look, nigga doing what he got to do to get home. I'm not mad. You ran a game with Kelsey, it didn't work for you, right? She went there a couple of weeks prior and she gave her testimony. She told verbatim the same shit that Meg said, verbatim. She went in there afterwards and try to help you. Guess you gave us some money, you did whatever you did. Cool. You did what you're supposed to do. You're trying to figure out how to get to jail. I can't be mad at a nigga trying to escape prison. But what I can be mad at is a nigga trying to make a woman who he shot look like the bad guy. So Kelsey walks in there and she gives a whole statement to the D. I'm gonna give you the key parts here. I want you to just listen to what she said.
Driving, going down the road, Megan is laughing still. It's like an uncontrollable laugh. And just out of curiosity, I want to know what's funny. So I'm like, what is funny? Like, what is going on? And that's when Tory butts in, and he's like, yeah, Megan, why don't you tell your best friend what's so funny? Why don't you tell her how fake you are? And so I'm confused because this was random. And so I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? And Megan's like, Kelsey, don't listen to him. He's just trying to make you mad. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And, next thing you know, the arguing, began with Tory and Megan. They're arguing. They're taking jabs at each other. He's calling her out her name. He's calling her, I've never heard him speak like this, so.
The stuff he was saying?
I can't honestly recall, verbatim. He was definitely calling her, bitches and hoes. And so, I stepped in and I said, you're not going to talk to my friend like that, I don't care what y'all got going on, but you're not going to talk to her like that in front of me. So he got offended, and now me and him are arguing. And we're honestly, when I argue, I can say things that are hurtful too. So he was saying mean things, so I was saying mean things back to him. And
do you remember any of the exchange?
I'm about to get to what I do remember. He began to say, I'm from, he just started I'm from Canada, basically, I guess insinuating that they're gangsters or something. I don't know. I'm from Canada, my nigga. Do you know? And I'm like, okay. And so, now we're just going back and forth. It's I'm going back and forth with him. He's going back and forth with Megan. He said, my nigga, I'll shoot you. And so
He said that to you?
He said that to me. So he reached, he was going to grab something. He reached towards the middle console, but he never pulled anything out.
Now, can you describe the middle console on the car? There's I assume some type of flat cover or lid.
Correct.
And then when he reached towards it, you just saw what? His hand moving?
Yeah, it was just a motion that he reached. He never opened it or, so it was just a motion. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, and if you shoot me, then I guess it's my time to go, and if you shoot me, just know I have people who will ride behind me, in my support. And he's like, he's just talking mess still, him and Megan, me and him. So then Megan, I guess we're on Sunset Boulevard at this time. And Megan demands that's mine.
You're ringing high.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Megan demands for Quan to pull the vehicle over. So we pull over, and we're actually by a bus stop. Megan jumps out the vehicle. Tory follows behind her. Quan stays in. I stay in. Because it's just we're in the middle of a road. We're just arguing. This is, So Tory and Megan, they sit at the bus stop. They have, I don't know what conversation they had, a conversation if any. But when they got back in the vehicle, it was calm. Tory then began to...
When they got back in the vehicle, do you remember where everyone was sitting?
Yes, sorry. Megan got back in the front seat. Tory got back in behind Quan, so behind the driver's seat. So it was calm. Everybody was calm. Tory then began to apologize to me. And he's just like, I'm sorry, Kelsey, you're just a real ass nigga, and I had to tell you. And I'm like, what?
An apology.
Right, and so I'm like, but he's saying it loud. And so Megan can hear this. So that kind of started her back up. So now they're arguing back together. At this point, it's uncontrollable. Can't stop it.
And do you remember anything at this point that was being said between them?
At this point, they're arguing about each other's artistry as a career as an artist. She's telling him you're only this and that because you're on a remix with Jack Harlow, and he's telling her things about her career as an artist, which I can't remember what he was telling her, but they just started hitting each other with their career as an artist. So now we're at the final, the next stop where the incident occurs. And this time Tory demands Quan to let us out. He's like, let these hoes out, let these bitches out the car. This is my car. And so we're like, okay. Okay, we'll get out. So he pulled the car over, and everything here transpires. Megan jumps out of her seat, which is the front seat. I open up my door, which I'm behind Megan. And when you're getting out of a vehicle, you're not really just like looking at any direction. You're just kind of getting out the vehicle, Especially, we didn't expect anything to happen next, so we're just getting out the vehicle. I get out of my side, and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off. I look up about it was 5 gunshots. I look up maybe at the second or third gunshot. That's when I look up. You're listening to Street TV. And you see Tory. He's now in the front seat. I guess he must have jumped over. It was very smooth transition because we didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. And he's leaning over. The door is open, and he's leaning over the door window.
Which door? Is it the rear door?
The front right. So where Megan was sitting.
Okay, so his door's open.
My door's open in the back, and the front door is open to where Megan got out. The front right passenger.
Both doors on the passenger side
are open. Correct. So.
And is he shooting through the window or over the top of the door?
No, he's shooting over the top of the door. So
over the top of the door would be the rear passenger door.
The right front passenger. So, again, as I said, he must have jumped, or I don't know how he did it because it was very very smooth. And he was leaning over the front passenger door, and she was shooting the gun.
Where were you standing at this point?
At this point, I'm standing kind of my body's still to the side behind the door, the rear passenger door. So I would say my left side was the rear passenger, and my right side was kind of like this. This is the door, and I'm.
Are you still partially in the car at this point?
No, I'm out of the vehicle. Okay. I'm out of the vehicle. I'm just not around my door yet.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know where's Megan?
So I was about to speak on Megan. So she was walking away when this happened, but by the third, fourth shot, and by the time I look up, she's facing towards us, and I've described it like a deer in headlights. Mm-hmm. I'm short. I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up, higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from her chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of it wasn't straight. It was down.
Mm-hmm. It was down in her direction?
Definitely in her direction. In the air, definitely in her direction. So at that point, we kind of were in shock,
Did you hear him say anything as he was shooting?
He did not say anything.
Okay.
There was no words at that point,
What was Quan doing? Could you tell?
I think everybody was in shock.
Okay, so he wasn't.
He wasn't
part
even
of it.
at this point right here. He wasn't part of this. What I'm about to get into next. I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from. Like I said, the motion when he first threatened me was middle console, but I don't know if that's where the gun was.
But you had said he referenced shooting y'all earlier while you're in the car, right?
He threatened to shoot me.
As if he had a gun
Correct.
in his control somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
And so after the shots rang, it was like I said, 5 shots. We kind of froze, and by the time I get back into I snapped. Megan had either crawled or walked or limped over to. She's in a driveway. She's in a driveway on the side of the driver's side. She's in a driveway. Tory sits down.
In the front passenger seat?
In the front passenger seat.
Okay.
He's sitting. I guess just kind of shocked also. So I run over to her. I immediately ran to her. She's the forefront of my thoughts. My job as a friend in general is just naturally is to protect my friend, protect. So now I'm in defense mode on the behalf of Megan. I ran to her. She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know when I ran to her and she grabbed me, she had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding. That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark, lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Do you see whether or not when he's coming around the vehicle if he still has the gun?
I don't believe he had the gun.
Okay.
So like I said, I just thought he was coming over to attack us. So I stepped in between where he was coming to where Megan was. And at that point, that's when the assault between me and him happened. He assaulted me. And Quan then comes he just comes and he picks me up like a little doll. And he's like, Kelsey, they do this all the time. And I said, huh? She's bleeding. She's been shot. I don't know if y'all know she's shot. By that time, he's already to where Megan's at. So,
So listen, these are the key parts. This is where the coward shit come from me. Not only did he shoot Meg, he beat Kelsey up. He beat her up, threatened to kill her and shoot her. This ain't no man shit, bro. This is who y'all screaming free. This nigga beat the girl up, shot the other girl, gaslit the other girl and say, nah, I don't know what happened to you, made music about her, disrespected her for days, all that bitch is lying. The truth gonna come out of trial. He said the truth gonna come out of trial. This what came out of trial. He paid that lady to get on that stand and lie, allegedly. This is my belief. I believe he paid that lady to get on that stand and lie. And she wasn't going to deny no $1 million because her and Meg wasn't already speaking. You know why Meg wasn't speaking? Because of that phone call you just heard. The fact that you on the phone with the nigga that just shot me, talking about meeting up with him, and you say he offered you $1 million and you meeting up with him, why the fuck? You're not my friend. You with the ops. So at that point, now Kelsey's the op. So now Kelsey like, fuck that. Meg ain't fucking with me. You talking about you got $1 million and I ain't gonna go to jail. So he gets her a lawyer. I'm gonna get you a lawyer, right? We're gonna have you your lawyer. What the fuck you need a lawyer for? You get immunity, right? Because they like, well, we know you didn't shoot nobody, so we're gonna give you immunity. We just need you to testify because you just gave us, you told us what you're gonna testify. You gave us the whole, so cool, you get immunity. So that was part of y'all strategy. The lawyer said, we're gonna give you immunity so you can go up there and say, but you don't understand what perjury is. See, if you perjure yourself on that stand, you can go to jail. So they give you immunity based on the fact that you're gonna tell the truth. When you start lying and they can prove you lying, they can take away the immunity, Kelsey. And this is why I've been saying Kelsey needs to be in jail. Kelsey is complicit with what happened. Kelsey took that bribe and she sold that woman out. She took that money. She said, fuck, I'm gonna get this money. Meg don't fuck with me anyway. And Tory knew that. That's why the day before he put his little post up, you know, watch how this age, I'm free, my God, this, because he figured I done paid the chick off. She going to trial, she gonna lie, and I'm gonna create reasonable doubt. And everybody gonna go home. This is what he thought. Meg gonna be the only one that look crazy. Me and Kelsey, we got our own thing going on. We got a lawyer. The lawyer that came in here, they asked her on the minutes. They asked Kelsey, is Tory Lanez paying for your lawyer? The lady said, I don't remember and I don't know. You don't know if the nigga that's on trial is paying for your lawyer? You should have no communication with the nigga. How you don't know if he paying for your lawyer? But y'all forget about all that shit because you know what? It's called willful ignorance. And if you just want your man to come home and you like him, he a singer, cool. But we're not gonna act like he ain't do what he did to that woman. So that was at trial. Tory Lanez had the opportunity to get on that stand, right? He said all along that Kelsey did it, but here's another twist. He said on the Shade Room that Kelsey didn't shoot her. Right? Because that was part of his plan. He had a grand scheme. The nigga, listen to me, the nigga is a marketing genius and actually a sociopath. And it's dangerous The type of nigga, a nigga that can lie like this good for this long, is a dangerous type of individual. He went on the shade room and wrote this. He said she didn't do it. That's not what happened. Right? Because you know why? He didn't need her to publicly say that he did it. He needed to keep her and Meg going back and forth so it could give some doubt to the people, to create the doubt in the mind of the people that, oh yeah, that's why they beefing. Tory was telling the truth. They beefing over Tory, and that's the reason why. But if you listen to her, she's like, she kept saying, she know who shot her. Why you ain't clear my name? So she was mad because she wanted her name cleared, and Tory played on that shit. He just let them go back and forth. And he didn't make it seem like he was throwing her under the bus. He made it seem like he was with her. I'm gonna pay you off. As long as you don't publicly come out and say I did it, we good. Because I could win in the court of opinion. Because fuck the court of opinion, this is what he doing now. Is running the same shit. You don't got no newly discovered evidence. He got some shit that he need y'all in a court of public opinion to say, yo, free Tory, because we don't like the way it go. Ain't none of this shit, nothing happened new. I just seen Ray on his page talking about, oh, Meg, is new evidence. She said she stepped on glass. She said she stepped on glass the day it happened, bro. She said she was trying to protect the man. She didn't even want him to go to jail. And if he would have been smart enough and didn't try to do no bullshit on the internet, he would have never had to do nothing. But that's besides the point. We back here. That's what they do on the end. They spin shit. Ray, her stepping on glass, been a thing. The DNA on the gun, the jury saw that. Nothing's newly discovered about this. All this shit is the same exact evidence. So they keep regurgitating this shit to win in a court of public opinion. And that's what they doing. And as they keep doing that, they are gaslighting that woman who was shot. Nigga wasn't even a man enough to man up. I really advocate for Kelsey to go to jail. Kelsey Harris should be in prison. Because to me, she's the most dangerous one here. This was your friend. You know she was shot. You seen a nigga shot her. He beat you up, and he was able to pay you to go away. And now he throwing you under the bus, and you so quiet now because you done took that bread. Yeah, you took that bread, so now you quiet. Allegedly. You took that bread, now you quiet because you know you can't even come off and say the truth no more because you know you done already got paid. And you don't want that to come to the surface. You don't want to get convicted of perjury, but they need to call you out. Because, hey, maybe you shot him. That's what they said, right? He said you shot him. I'm saying, if she shot him, then she lied on the stand. And if she did shot him and she knew what happened, then she lied on the stand. So she should be convicted of perjury. Not only did that happen, there's so much different shit that happened. So much different shit that happened that y'all want to ignore. The reality of the situation is this case went to trial. They haven't discovered any new evidence. Respect that woman. I do not protect cowards. Niggas gonna say, oh, street, some jail. Look, I don't protect niggas that beat and shoot women. I don't give a fuck about no street code. Any nigga that co-sign that is a coward to me. And if you feel away, I'm outside. I ain't never run from a nigga. I stand on what I stand on. If you have an issue about me not protecting a nigga that shot one woman and beat another woman, then you gotta handle it the way you handle. I'm a man before anything. I'm gonna speak my mind and I'm gonna speak the truth. And what happened that night was some sucker shit, but the sucker shit was to continue to gaslighting and lying and try to make that woman look like she did something to you, bro. It's sucker shit. But we live in a sucker world where niggas constantly do sucker shit. That's what we live. We live in a sucker world where niggas constantly do sucker shit. If y'all gonna continue to co-sign sucker shit, then leave me out, man. Now, if you want Tory free, cool. Tell the governor to free him. But don't tell him to free him because he didn't shoot that woman. Just tell him because you want the black man free. And the funny part about this is Rep, what's her name? Let me see her name. Her name is Rep Anna what? Let me get her name. Rep Anna Paulina Luna. We need Mumia free. We need H-Rap Brown free. You screaming free Tory. See, this is the shit they do. These people trick you, right? They free the rapper that you like that did some shit that don't make no sense. But they ain't gonna give you the political prisoners. Right? They ain't gonna erase Marilyn Mosby's record and get off house arrest. They're not gonna get H-Rap Brown now. They're not gonna free Mumia. They're not gonna free none, but they're gonna free all the motherfucking insurrectionists. And then tell you they want to free Tory Lanez. So the stupid black people like, oh, they fuck with us. Look, they want a black man free. Right? The black man that fucking shot a black woman. Right? They showing you how little respect they have for the black woman. They telling you the same niggas are screaming, free Derek Chauvin. Right? So they give you the crumb while they get the motherfucking cake. They gonna free the nigga that killed the black man, the police that killed the black man. They gonna advocate for freeing the police that killed the black man and advocate for the nigga who shot the black woman and beat the black woman up. And y'all think they did something for us. And that's the shit that we gotta deal with.
Whoopie-dee-scoop.